After Halo Infinite launched, the first year of the game's live service was pretty much littered with L after L after L. Whether it was the cancellation of split-screen co-op, the amount of times Forge and network co-op got delayed, the lack of a progression system, the store being bad. This game in the past year has taken a ton of L's. However, it makes me really happy to say that 343 has finally done it. On November 8th, Halo Infinite's second major update, the Winter Update, was put into the game. It is hands down the best content update to come to this game in its entire year-long lifespan, with a whole slew of improvements to the game, such as the addition of Forge, campaign co-op, but not split screen, I still hate you for that, a slew of sandbox improvements that makes previously dog water guns really fun to play with, the introduction of bi-weekly rotational playlists, and much more. Before we get into this absolute monster of a thing, be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you enjoyed it that much. Now, without further ado, as mentioned before, let's get into this absolute monster of an update. So, the first thing of note is that while the maps are Forge, some of the new maps added to this game are damn good. Because of the power of this game's Forge, the maps look very close to being dev main maps, so graphically, the maps look very good in my opinion. Although, Argyle is a bit of a mixed bag. When I played on it, it played fine enough, but right now there are pretty bad crashing issues of the map, which have caused it to be removed from matchmaking. Now, it is a good map from what I've played, but I don't think it's a good look to have two new maps added to the game, only for one of them to be removed on the same day it was added. I really wish we could get content updates launching without these kind of issues, but they responded to it quickly, and they're trying to work as fast as they can, so I guess that's all you can ask for, really. Now, Detachment on the other hand, I'm not gonna lie, this is an absolute banger of a map. I genuinely love Detachment so much. This map is awesome. Keep in mind, my opinion still might be in flux at the minute, because I haven't experienced the map in full, because this update hasn't even been out for a day yet as of me recording this, but the few rounds I have played on this map are really fun. This map in particular works excellently for attrition because of how big it is, and I really love these big 4x4 maps. I know they're pretty controversial in the Halo community, like say Launch Site, but I really enjoy them. I like the change of pace it brings to arena gameplay. Also, Detachment is the first Halo Infinite map in matchmaking to feature the teleporter, and it's about time. The teleporter should have been in this game in launch in my opinion, but it's good to finally have maps with it now. But a big part of this map is that it was designed around the new Covert 1 flag mode. So let's talk about how that is. Mid! One of the big issues of Covert 1 flag is that it is at its core still just 1 flag. 1 flag is a mode that I'm pretty mixed on overall. A lot of the times it just feels like the defenders constantly win while the attackers constantly lose in my experience, because that's just kind of how 1 flag is laid out, which isn't really that fun. I mean, in the match I played, the only reason our team lost one of the rounds is literally because we just got so bored of defending the flag that we just went out and started picking fights with the other team. Outside of that, 1 flag when you're defending is just kind of really easy. You just stand next to the flag and guard it until someone comes around and takes it, walks 2 centimeters before being mowed down with bullets, and then the defending team pretty much always wins. There are occasionally fun rounds or matches of 1 flag when there's actually a challenge involved, like let's say you have a really competent attacking team that actually manages to take the flag and you've got to chase them fully. It gets fun then, but 9 times out of 10 that's just not how it happens. I also don't know if giving the defenders energy swords was the right move. Pretty much every time you do try and get the flag, you get instantly just like covered in threat sensors by like all 4 of the enemy team, and then you just get hacked to bits with an energy sword. Covert 1 flag is a Halo Infinite game type that definitely does have its moments, especially thanks to the recently buffed Commandos and Pulse Carbines. But at the minute, it feels kind of poorly balanced and lopsided in the favor of the defending team, and I don't know, it's not a mode I'm really itching to get back into. What I really think the premier playlist of the Winter Update should have been was an Action Sack playlist. Have it be a team playlist with a bunch of wacky and unusual game types, and I think it would have worked really well. I know we already have Social Slayer, but I think an expanded version of that would have been great as the premier playlist. As an example of some game types to throw in there: Infections, Shotty Snipers, Kong Slayer, Ninja Slayer. Throw in that Pink Mist mode from the Social playlist. Maybe get in, you know, the BTB Fiesta in this game, how it's basically just Halo 5 Super Fiesta with the weapon variants from the campaign. Why not try a 4v4 version of that in this playlist? That could work pretty well. And speaking of playlists, let's talk about the playlist changes in this game. I think there's a lot of good here, but also there's a fair bit of bad. There was a lot of playlists removed from this game because of the population and to increase matchmaking times, and I think, while unfortunate, that was mostly a good decision. I mean, BTB Social's wait times were up to 4 minutes at points, so I think removing that playlist was probably the right call. However, I think removing the free-for-all playlist and bot bootcamp was a bad shout. Free-for-all's removal I think should be obvious because free-for-all is an absolute staple Halo game mode and it's one I come back to pretty frequently. I think turning free-for-all Slayer into Rumble Pit in Season 2 was overall a bad idea because I liked just hopping on and playing free-for-all Slayer every now and then, so now it's just gone outright, I think has made that problem even worse. Quick tangent here, but that is a problem I've been having with Infinite's playlists for a while. For example, SWAT used to just be battle rifles, but now it's also stuff like pistols, stalker rifles, manglers, etc, etc. I think some of these modes are fun, but I want to just play BR SWAT most of the time, and I don't want to have to constantly quit games in order to find a match of BR SWAT. Okay, tangent over, back to the video. I also think the removal of Bot Bootcamp was a misfire because the entire reason you remove these playlists in the first place is due to low population health and high matchmaking times. But with Bot Bootcamp, you only need to find 4 players, so the matchmaking times were next to non-existent in terms of how long you'd be waiting for, so I have no idea why this playlist was removed. All it does is help casual Halo Infinite players get onboarded onto the game easier and give more experienced players a place to relax. Because Bot Bootcamp, up until like whenever they do a PvE mode, if they even do that, was the closest thing this game does have to a multiplayer PvE mode outside of full-on campaign. It was a nice mode to either get warmed up in before I went into actual matchmaking, or to relax after a long session of matchmaking, and I think removing it was a disappointment. Okay, moving on to the menu updates of this game. First of all, please remove this Season 2 Kia. I never want to see this image again. I'm so sick of this image. This is a considerable improvement over the previous challenge system, and I think all in all, they've fixed progression in this game. That being said though, even a year after release, the challenge system still does need a little more work. Like say, most of the challenges are fine and good, right? But you occasionally get really stupid ones like, assisted a kill by marking a target, or kill the marked target with a headshot. Who is coming up with these challenges? You know the infinite monkey theory, that if you chain enough monkeys up to typewriters and force them to write for all of time, eventually one of them will write the works of Shakespeare? I'm convinced that the challenges of this game were written by those exact monkeys. The big problem with the match XP system though, is that it's great at the minute, and as long as you have that free 30 tier battle pass, it's going to be really good. But it's a 30 tier battle pass. 100 tier battle passes with the old system took about a month at most to complete. This one is going to take at the very most a week or 2. So provided you're not a new player to this game who hasn't completed the other battle passes yet, this new match XP system at the very most is going to be good for about a week or 2. And then pretty much straight after that, you're going to start seeing the complaints of Infinite having nothing to work towards pop up again. However, having nothing to work towards isn't going to be nearly as much of a problem now as it was before, because now we have Forge and Co-op, baby! The addition of Forge and Network Campaign Co-op is huge for Halo Infinite, and it's going to add a ton of replayability value to the game. Now, Campaign Network Co-op isn't something I've really had the opportunity to test yet, because they released this update on a Tuesday for some reason, and because this update released in the direct middle of the week, everyone's too busy to play Campaign Co-op. But from the people who have played it so far, and from the flight, I hear it's very good and performs well. Now, Forge on the other hand, that is a monster. Due in part to me having no idea how to work this. Halo Infinite Forge is awesome. It's unbelievably advanced. There's so much stuff you can do and make on this, and it's going to make for so many awesome custom games. But I feel like the Forge UI might be a bit too advanced for beginners. I was playing this Forge mode with a friend last night who's been playing Halo since Reach on the Xbox 360, and when he tried the Forge on this game, his first immediate takeaway was that he misses how simple the Forge was on Halo Reach. I think there's a pretty simple solution to this problem, and that solution is have 2 modes, a beginner mode and then have the regular Forge mode. I know it will take a bit of dev time to do that, but it might be something worth looking into. That being said, once you do get past those hurdles, Halo Infinite has absolutely the best Forge in series history. Some of the maps that you can produce on this thing, as mentioned before, blur the line between dev made and Forge made so well. It is incredible. My favorite so far is Eternity, which is in my opinion the best map in Halo Infinite and needs to go into matchmaking like yesterday. The Haven remake from Halo 4 is absolutely incredible, and Repulse Soccer is such a fun mode.
Rufus passes to Bluey. Bluey to old man Samson. Samson with a twirl and... It's so much fun.
So much fun.
So much fun.
So much fun.
Halo Infinite's Forge is the real selling point of the winter update. It is exactly what this game needed in terms of content and map output, and I'm hoping a lot of this stuff gets put into matchmaking ASAP to fill out the matchmaking more. For example, I would really love to see that Haven remake and Eternity in the matchmaking. They are like as good as some of the maps in this game, if not better, and I think they deserve a spot in the matchmaking as soon as possible. Also, in my opinion, 343 should try putting in Repulse Soccer as a rotational playlist in this game, because if you didn't get the memo before,
It's so much fun.
So much fun.
Speaking of Forge, it also helps that custom games and the file share in this game are actually very good now. Both on the Halo Waypoint website and within the Halo Infinite game, there is a really good content browser that works very well for the most part. And at least from what I've played, the custom games experience is actually very stable and reliable now. We had little to no crashes on the sessions we did yesterday, and all in all it worked very well. If there's one thing I want to see added in the future, it's an option to see your recently played games. As far as I know, I haven't been able to find any kind of option to save your recently played maps or modes, and I've had to go onto the popular mode section to find it, and I would much prefer if I can just save the modes I've recently played. If there is a way to do this in Halo Infinite, I haven't found it. The other big thing the Forge and Customs in Halo Infinite needs as soon as possible is a custom games browser. The Forge and Customs in this game are already great as is, but a custom games browser would make it even better. It would make it way easier to hop into custom games when you don't have a looking for group post ready or no one's on a Discord server, but the temporary absence of the custom games browser is not a game-breaking feature. It's just something I really wish would be there as soon as possible. Another awesome thing that Halo Infinite custom games has going for it is that there is an infection mode in the game that's fully playable and it works great. What isn't so awesome is that they're planning on removing this because this was apparently a prototype. I don't know why they feel the need to remove this even if it's a prototype because it already works great. I ran about 2 games of infection last night on Eternity and it played like a dream. Genuinely, everyone in this lobby had a blast with infection, so I'd have no idea why they'd want to remove it. Even if it's a prototype, what is the harm in keeping it in for people who want to run custom games on it? Why is that a problem? Literally, who does this hurt?
Look, I don't care how much fun you think you're having. You are supposed to
Beta test match XP for us and play one flag.
343, I ask that you please reconsider removing infection. I know the mode is a prototype, I know we weren't supposed to get it, but the mode does work fine and it's fueling a ton of custom games right now, so I see no reason not to keep it around for the people who want it and are enjoying it in custom games right now. Once the final version of infection is out, sure, purge it then and then replace it with your new one, but until then, there is no reason not to let us keep this. Prototype or not, it works and plays fine. So yeah, the verdict on Halo Infinite custom games post Forge being added, custom games works a lot better now, Forge is a fantastic level editor and it's making for a ton of awesome custom games, and this is probably the best custom game experience in any Halo game ever, barring the lack of a custom games browser, which is coming hopefully soon. But one problem is 343's insistence on removing content because it's unfinished.
That never stopped you before.
Despite that, it's working perfectly fine and doesn't hurt anyone by being there. Please don't remove infection because it's the backbone of half of Halo's custom games. Other than that, Forge and custom games are fantastic and probably the best in series history. So, overall, Halo Infinite's Winter Update, while not perfect, is a major improvement for the game. It improves in a bunch of areas where the game has been really suffering in the past year, and I think is the first step to Halo Infinite becoming a truly great Halo game. There's still a much bigger road to improvement from here that 343 needs to be taking as soon as possible, but given the quality of this update, I honestly have faith that they might be capable to start taking that road. Should all of this stuff been in the game at launch a year ago? Yes. Should this update have taken as long as it did? No. Am I glad it's all here still? Yes. Halo Infinite's Winter Update is very much the epitome of better late than never. It is a great update through and through and makes the game worth playing again, I think. Whether this newfound momentum will stick or not is yet to be seen, but I personally have faith. Overall, I give Halo Infinite's Winter Update a 7.5 out of 10 without infection and an 8.9 out of 10 with infection. If gaining an extra crusty point isn't incentive to keep infection, I don't know what is. That's all from me though. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on Halo Infinite's Winter Update in the comments down below. As said at the start of the video, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on it and share it with a friend if you found it good enough to do so. Be sure to subscribe to Crossbound for more content just like this, and I will see you in a future video. Goodbye for now.